If you're looking to play NBA DFS, the first place you need to start is with projections, and that is what I have here right now. This is our NBA DFS projection screen. We've got it for DraftKings, for FanDuel, a projected stats tab so that you can see what we're projecting on in every individual category for each player. We're going to work our way through this table right now so that you guys can understand the baseline. This is the first place to start. It should come as no surprise that the first column of this table contains player names. I don't think that's all that crazy. The next one contains the fantasy point projections. Now, you could filter this information if you want. If you only want to see the guys that have more than 40 fantasy points, just type 40 in the top line. It'll filter that down immediately. If you want to do the opposite and get rid of those guys, 40 in the 2 line removes everybody. So you can filter down based on fantasy points if you want a cleaner look. Next spot, we're looking at position. Now, you can filter this in a couple different ways, but the main way would be the way that I'm about to do it right now. Let's say you just want to look at anybody that can play point guard for today. Simple. I type PG into the point guard spot. That filters the entire list down to everybody that has point guard eligibility. Very, very simple. If you want centers, same principle. Type in a C. Now you've got a list of just centers. Team, opponent, should be relatively self-explanatory. If you just want to filter based on team, click the team button, pick the team that you're looking for. I'll pick the Lakers in this case. Immediately filtered to the Lakers. Everything else on this table is basically where we want to dig in. The first thing that I want to look at is the minutes column. It's one of the most important things you'll get for the NBA because you want to know how many opportunities someone may have. Every minute that you can have on the floor is another minute that you can accrue fantasy points. The more minutes you get, the better off you're probably going to be. We project out those minutes and they show up in this column right here. I'm scrolling on it in this table. Salary is just going to be whatever you're getting from DraftKings or FanDuel or whichever site you're playing on. That is populated into this table. If you want to sort it or filter it, same way as the fantasy projections. If I only want guys that are sub 8K, I can just type in 8,000 in the salary column. I won't get anybody above that number. The final 2 columns are the ones that I think people will be most interested in. That's points per dollar and value. These are kind of the same thing. They're just measured a little bit differently. Points per dollar is going to be relatively simple. You are going to take the fantasy points. So in this case for Nikola Jokic, it's 58.34. You're going to divide that by his salary. So 58.34 divided by 10,000, you're going to get a number that is very small. That is then multiplied by 1,000 so you can see it the way that it is here. And it should make some sense. You see 5.83, that's the same number in the fantasy points column because it's 10,000, makes this math pretty simple. So it's fantasy points divided by salary times 1,000. That is the amount of points you're getting for every $1,000 in salary you spend. Or you can display this value a little bit differently, and I'll show the formula at the top of the screen. Points above or below 5x salary. So for Nikola Jokic, if you take his salary, which is $10,000, divide it by 1,000 and multiply by 5, that value number would be 50. 10,000 divided by 1,000 times 5, that's 50. If you subtract 50 from the 58.34, you see the value of 8.34. Is that making sense? We see it on the screen. 58.34 minus 50 equals 8.34. That lets you know how many fantasy points the guy is expected to get over his salary tier. So someone like LeBron James in this case at 9,300 showing up as a negative value relative to salary. No one showing up any better than Nikola Jokic. This is just the simple way to use our projections table, but it's not just about the individual site. If I click on projected stats, now you get that same sort of player information and team information, projected minutes again, but we're also showing you how many points we're expecting that guy to have, rebounds, made threes, assists, steals, blocks, turnovers. You're getting the full stat line for each player. All of this information is contained on the projections tab. If you're starting anywhere in NBA DFS, projections are where you begin.